Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Wait, wrong franchise. Last time on Lucifer, Season 5A. It ended with God showing up. We have been waiting, we have been anticipating, and the time is almost here, guys. And we finally got the Lucifer Season 5B trailer. We said it was going to be out December, then January, then February, and it recently came out in like May, and we are going to go over this, unpack it a bit. Spoiler warnings ahead. The trailer picks up where we left off, where they are shocked that their dad, that God is there. And they kick off the trailer with one of the most anticipated scenes, the family dinner. I have so many questions. We all have so many questions. One of the reasons that I held off is to see what other people were saying and thinking about the trailer. And from what we saw in pictures, Lucifer decided to move his chair just so he did not have to sit next to Michael. And there's a bunch of wine bottles where he's at. So the symbolism, the visuals, the storytelling through visuals, I love it. And Linda, I love Linda. Linda is basically us dealing with the whole celestial thing, doing our reactions, much like Ella is with the whole Decker star. And she's eating and she says, "Oh my God." And then it's like, "Oh wait, I'm with God right now eating food." And Amenadiel is like, "Did you just do that?" And she realizes it. And they're all looking up, looking at her, and then she's staring at God, and he just looks back at her. And I have a feeling that this whole dinner is gonna be beyond awkward. Amenadiel is knocking back wine. Michael's like, "Isn't this great?" And Lucifer's like, "Is it?" Because it is obvious he would rather be anywhere else, and I have to question, where exactly are we? Like, we know we're in Linda's house, but has time resumed? If so, does Chloe know where Lucifer is? Is he MIA yet again on her? Because after time froze, he was rushing to Amenadiel saying, "Let's restart time. I got a relationship to fix." So if he is swept away, he's got other things on his mind than, one, being in the same room as his dad, the person that hasn't talked to him, among a whole list of other things, and his brother, which may or may not have manipulated so many bad decisions in his life, but also kidnapped his girlfriend. And then you get lightning, and you hear Menadale say the most dysfunctional family, and I mean, that's all you can really say. This family is beyond dysfunctional. One of the longer storylines of Lucifer is him trying to deal with everything that came from being from such a dysfunctional family and being so dysfunctional himself. Something he's still working on. I do want to know, though, why exactly Michael looks like this. Are they talking about the crap that he has stirred up, both recently and in the past? And then we head into, from what I can assume, from what we've seen via promotion, the musical episode, And Chloe just saying that, yeah, you suck as a dad. You are a terrible father. And I really want to know what he has to say about that. Because after that, it goes to God trying to mess around with Lucifer, literally throwing a ball at him, the proverbial father son playing catch, which is a whole bonding thing, a trope that you see in a lot of TV shows, much like we did see in season 2, where Lucifer's mom gets a bunch of cheese and is going to feed Lucifer some cheesy noodles to bond with him. And then Chloe, the queen that she is, then adds, after it's like, yeah, you suck as a dad, she adds respectfully. Because she realizes who she's talking to, and that tells us as an audience member that she knows who she's talking to. And then from one thing or one way to another, we see that Lucifer and Chloe do get back to at least some semblance of quote unquote normal with doing cases, because it switches over to them working on some kind of case, which we will get into, because Lucifer's dad asks him if he's some kind of police assistant, and Lucifer responds with consultant, because it's a very different type of title and what the title means. And they shove in little bits and bobs, like Lucifer taking a selfie with Dan and some hot chicks. I can't wait to see what that's about. Then it goes into him asking, okay, well, where's your desk? And Lucifer just lets out a sigh, but he's smiling. And it's one of those that you can see that he has the mask on, the protective layer on with his dad. And then he points to Dan, saying that Dan has a desk, and if Lucifer works hard enough, maybe one day he can be as good as Dan. Now, I have a lot of feelings about this specifically, because it's one of those passive aggressive things that parents say to their children, where they think they're being supportive or they're saying nothing wrong, when in reality it is quite emotionally abusive. So I really do hope that this does get addressed, and I'm really interested in seeing how he interacts with Lucifer versus how his mother interacted with him. And then it just switches to him and Dan knocking one back. Pretty sure this goes hand in hand with the whole Lucifer Dan hot chick selfie. And it switches into Lucifer saying that it's time for them to work on their relationship, saying that so we can have a relationship. So, of course, where does he take him? Linda, the doctor. And it's always interesting the people that he brings to Linda and how they interact, how they're positioned, the body language, the tone, all of that when they are talking to her. And the question is Linda gonna be able to get through to either one of them to create a dialogue? And then it goes back to, because he wants to have a relationship with Chloe. So I'm wondering how his dad being there and all of that affects the whole relationship between him and Chloe, besides the whole, I have a feeling when time does restart due to spoilers that Lucifer's gonna be gone, but I have a feeling that Yet again, we are going to see more roadblocks that they'll overcome. But I'm curious how many steps back yet again it's going to go. But I'm also pleased to see that he has maintained some of his growth that he has developed in part one of season 5. And then you see him self destruct drinking because he's disheveled here. And usually, when we get the disheveled Lucifer, we know that he's going through stuff. So, most likely, this is before he reconnects with Chloe. And during this, where he's showing that he's being self destructive and where he's looking so upset, his dad saying that he cannot fix him, which is actually very true. We are the ones that are able to fix ourselves. You can't fix other people. And then it goes into he thinks it's time to retire, and in that part, and I thank the lovely people of Twitter for zooming in and pointing out that Charlie is in this scene. Could you see the little foot? And Michael currently is nowhere to be seen. And then it switches to this, and there are theories that in the background, the person at the piano is Michael. I actually agree with this theory that it is Michael either playing the piano or sitting at the piano, and that's a big no-no, especially when it comes to Michael, because I think he, even more than his dad possibly, is someone that Lucifer just hates. And then Lucifer gets the bright idea that he is going to be God. Lucifer is not good with his bright ideas. For a very, very intelligent person, he always seems to come up with the worst ideas. Because we know this is going to end horribly, right? And he goes on to say that he's going to do things differently. And it's very reminiscent of basically his whole origin story, where Michael pointed out himself, so this is canon, that he thought he could do a better job than his father. The question is this going to come out the same way, or is it going to come out differently? It's also good to see that him and Maze, one way or another, have patched things up or started a dialogue in one way or another. And Chloe's saying that she's trying to wrap her mind over what it means for them. And I like the fact that they're handling this a lot better than I think they did in season 4. And I won't get too much into why that is, since I want to talk about the trailer more than the comparison of season 5 and season 4. I do like the little touches. For example, the valet ticket says 666. And then she has to say it. She has to say what could go wrong. Reminds me of Bubsy with the what could possibly go wrong. You never say that. Why did you say that? And then this rando guy kicks what I can assume is Lucifer into a coffee table. And we hear, I believe it's Remy, say that Michael's been gathering support because, of course, Michael wants to be the new god. And we see this actually awesome looking armor. And then it goes to a shot of what we can assume are his brothers and sisters who are going to support him in theory. And it switches back over to what I'm going to assume is the family dinner, and Lucifer and Michael coming face to face. And I really, really hope they address the whole "you kidnapped my girlfriend." Because I can understand why they didn't fully address it in spoiler alert, but I really hope they have conversations. I love this visual where the lightning is going, and from the visual cues, Lucifer's face is actually more brighter and well lit than Michael's is. Michael's looks darker. It looks like there's going to be a confrontation, and Chloe's here. It's Chloe, Lucifer, and Amenadiel. So I'm really curious if this was a surprise encounter. Because why would he actually have Chloe here? From a strategic standpoint, Michael would probably want her here. Even if Lucifer is no longer vulnerable, she's still a distraction. And then we see a different instance of him in Linda's office saying that they're going to go to war, which was kind of obvious. From what it looks like, Maze is on Lucifer's side again after siding with Michael. So, one way or another, they wrapped up the whole soul or not a soul or how to get a soul. So it's good to see the dynamic duo back together. But then they give us a little bit of whiplash because Michael is back in Lux for some reason and is trying to talk to Maze. The question is, can he still convince her? Is she actually on Lucifer's side, or is she still on Michael's side? Because we have seen her flip-flop a bit, play double roles. We saw it, for example, with Pierce. So showing this brings it into question. And then the bombshell. Like, this just threw me for a loop. Because they're in the aquarium. At the start of the trailer, we can see that they're back on cases together. And he makes a joke about stuff smelling fishy in an aquarium. And everybody's looking at him, right? And Ella does the setup and says dad jokes. And they did it, guys. They freaking did it. And he says, thanks, I'm practicing. And look at Chloe's face. Like, what? And I do have to go into some speculative leaks where there was a picture that was posted and allegedly she looked pregnant. And there's a lot of theories that she's going to become pregnant either in this season or season 6. I think they know that, so even if it's not true, the whole tease, I hope there's a payoff, because it's obviously not uncle jokes. So they're teasing about him being a dad, either A, because he's going to be quote unquote the new god, or B, because he wants to break his I'm never going to procreate to, yeah, Chloe, let's procreate. So after that bombshell, it goes back into Lucifer and his father, with the words saying, the darker the darkness, the brighter the light. And as they're saying that, you see that his father sees his devil face, which does bring a little bit of the question, and I hope they address this with the whole God Johnson thing, because was it actually God or God's presence? And if so, does God know about it? Because Lucifer's eyes do turn red when he's demanding an apology from God Johnson. But he says this line to Ella, so I do like the idea of her talking something faith-based to his father. There's a lot of debate on if she ever finds out if Lucifer is actually the devil. A lot of us want that. I do hope she finds out. But then it goes back to her not wanting to know for sure in earlier seasons. And then they show this short bit with him and Chloe looking at the sky. Allegedly, he's telling her about how he made the stars. I don't know if that's true, because I have tried to avoid things that the screeners have revealed to a point, because I do want to enjoy this, not spoiler free, but I don't want to know everything because someone's already seen it and is telling us what happens. But I do like that they have this intimate moment, and it shows us that not all hope is lost for the Decker Star shipping that we all have. And then it's back to Michael being the little antagonizing little shit that he is, saying that there's no point because he won, trying to get into Lucifer's head because of course he is. And then it switches back to the battle where Michael confronts Lucifer, and we see two very interesting things. One, that Lucifer has the staff that one of his siblings had at the start, and Michael has some kind of flaming sword. Now, the original flaming sword, at least two parts of it, got thrown into the new universe where his mom went, and the rod piece got buried with the kid that died that bonded with Amenadiel. So I'm wondering about this sword. And then you just have this badass scene where his arm is on fire, and it's basically like, yeah, no. And I love what they did here, where Amenadiel's saying that Lucifer came a long way when they both have, and they're showing solidarity between them, whereas at the start of the show, they couldn't have been further apart. So to show that solidarity is continuing in season 5B, I love it. And then we get one of the pictures that was released a fair time ago and had us all questioning what on earth is going on, because Linda's crying and Lucifer's comforting her, and there are so many theories, and I can't really begin to guess what context this is in. And I mean, right here it shows his growth because he's comforting her, whereas the old Lucifer may not have done that. And Amenadiel adds, when you put faith in him, and that is so true, that for eons, nobody believed in him. He was this fallen angel. He was pure evil. He was bad. So we see this growth. We see him be compassionate to people. So I think that matching those words with this scene is perfect. And then Eve comes back. Eve comes back and Maze is there. And I had a theory before I jumped into the whole leaky spoiler-ness of the fandom that she was going to come back in season 5 before even season 6 was announced. And of course, you know, she has her apple teeny, making a callback to when she first appeared. And then Linda socks Dan, because of course she does. My theory on this one is she finds out that he shot Lucifer. And then we see this, and I mean, I got some theories. One of them I think is completely wrong, but I like to think that this is Lilith. And hear me out on this, guys. Because God told Amenadiel that hell no longer needed a warden, basically an angel. The question is why? So I would like to possibly see that this is Lilith, and for some reason she's on Earth. I don't know. It's probably Maze, though. I can't wait to see what this is about, though. And then it goes full force into I have so many questions. I mean, first with Maze and or Lilith in that outfit, then Lucifer with I don't know who these people are. I'd love to know what is up with this, and is it connected to the picture that I saw of someone else driving Lucifer's car with him still in the car? And then randomly there's a bus. Why there's a bus, I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows why there's a bus going off a cliff. And then we have Sad Chloe, and I know there's gonna be feels in this part B, and this is probably one of the hints of, yeah, he's taking too many steps back. And then we got Linda in handcuffs. And why is Linda in handcuffs? Why is he doing that? Why is Linda in handcuffs? Was that Maze? Why was she wearing that? Why was the bus going off of the cliff? Who are those people? And then we get huge flashes of different things, including the bus crashing. And of course they're gonna end it on this. The halfway section, the whole daddy joke thing. And then they go back around to, if I ever said those 3 words to you, it would be a lie. They know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. They know that we know what they are doing with this. I really hope, though, that he explains things. Like the thing that I and Nova have been screaming, just talk to each other, just tell her. Love is an action word. Explain the actions so she knows that those words are meaningless. It's the actions that count. It's the actions that say how he feels. But what were your guys' thoughts on this trailer? I mean, the hype is real. It's so much stuff. A lot of us, especially on Twitter, we've been trying to unpack it. A lot of theories going around. Everybody noticing fine details, which is, I love fandoms like this, where, yes, you have the base analyzation of it, but then it's like, okay, well, what's this thing in the background? Or what's this? What do you think this means? And they know the fandom's like that, so they threw us enough to keep us going and theorizing. I mean, I think the trailer was well worth the wait. I find I cannot wait though, because Nova did not want to watch this trailer, which is one of the reasons that the recording had to be pushed back so much, because I had to do it in a different room than him, because I knew I was going to talk about spoilers and dissect this and, tell my feelings on this. And right now I have a lot of feelings. I also have a lot of questions, and I like that the trailer left enough where we do have those questions. We want to see where they're going with this. They have been dropping off little tidbits, some gifs. There's one of like party Lucifer. But May 18th, guys. For now, this is Odogoo with Team Aonn. Remember to like, subscribe, check us out at teamaonn.com. We have more Lucifer content coming. But as always, enjoy your fandom.